and would like to extend a warm welcome to members of the press, to several of the folks in orange who are from Microsoft. They're the engineers and mentors here, and student representatives. So welcome everybody. On behalf of Microsoft, it's a real privilege to have you all today. My name is Vinod Anantharaman. I head up business strategy at Microsoft, and I'm here to launch the program formally here today. But before I do that, I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the context around industry and academia in India, a few points around why are we getting into a new program called the Academia Accelerator to set that stage for that. So a few key points. The first is that the pace of technology change continues to accelerate. Right now, this at some level is not news. Like, we know that this is a very dynamic industry. It's always been right from the time of, from supercomputers to minis to, client-server computing, to personal computers, and then the internet and so forth. It's always been the case, but it continues to defy logic in some ways, right? Because this industry, it continues to accelerate even faster, because few things that are happening are the entire shift to mobile computing and cloud computing, a relatively recent phenomenon, in the sense that it's touching now billions of people, and also a lot of data that's being gathered in these data centers by all these websites and so forth, which becomes really interesting to mine for patterns and such, which helps make business decisions. So these are all very new trends, and some of these fields are in fact evolving very, very fast. And another important point is that not only does it affect the technology industry, but it's also changing many other industries, right? If you look at any one of us who has an internet connection today, a lot of things we used to do in the past in a different way, whether it's banking, whether it's shopping, whether it's booking a ticket, booking a cab, those are all things that we've gotten accustomed to doing on the net, using our mobile phone or using a tablet or using a computer, right? So those things are all evolving, and so it is touching many other industries, not just technology. So that's one part of the equation. And on the other hand, the other context in India, of course, and so that technology change and pace affects India as well, right? Because there are some leading edge companies getting into these things. And on the other side, on the academia side, of course, what we face is a huge number of graduates of engineering in India, which is in a way is a very, very big plus for the country in most ways. But these are very big numbers, and so sometimes I have a hard time wrapping my head around these numbers, but 500,000 or 5 lakh graduates, for me a big crowd is like a full IPL game has, what, about 50,000 people? So in other words, this country is graduating 10 stadiums full of cricket, 10 cricket stadiums full of engineers every year. And you multiply that by 5 years, 10 years, you're looking at a really, really large base of engineers, right? That's a very large number. And it's really important that they graduate with skills that are relevant, and that they have the high-tech jobs that are available in country for them to aspire to and make a difference and have impact. And the plus side, of course, is that, and that you can look at as a challenge, and it is a challenge, but at the same time, young people take to technology more than anyone else, right? So they are the first adopters of technology. I have a teenage son who's just waiting to get his first smartphone. They're just like, really eager to embrace and adopt and change the world through the power of technology, and that's what they do. And they have new ideas, they think differently, and so forth. And so those are valuable aspects of having a base of such large number of engineering graduates who are so youthful in this country. Now, when you look at all these things, like, we saw that there was therefore an opportunity for a gap that is there between the industry and academia to be bridged, right? And that was the opportunity. So when we looked at this whole space in the India leadership team level, the one way we thought about it is we have to really convert that into an opportunity to make a difference in this country. And when we talked to some of the distinguished faculty here and others in the other colleges, we realized that there was an opportunity to have a long-term meaningful partnership between us in industry and academia, where we could start addressing some of these challenges and view it as an opportunity. And that led to the formation of this program that we call Microsoft Academia Accelerator. And on behalf of Microsoft, it's my privilege to be able to formally and officially launch this program here today. And in terms of what's the vision for this program, if you look at the long-term vision or North Star, like we call it in Microsoft for these programs, for this program, it is to fuel innovation and impact right here from India, right? So that's through the empowerment of technology, we want to make that impact. And let me talk a little bit about the program itself. At its core, what it is a partnership. And one side of the coin, we have Microsoft on the industry side, and the other side, we have 10 top-flight colleges from India. And you may not be able to read the names of the colleges on the logos, so I'll go through them. They are the 7 what we call the older IITs, or the traditional IITs, which are at IIT Bombay, Delhi, Guwahati, Kanpur and Kharagpur, Madras and Roorkee. And then we have BITS Pilani, and we have IIIT Hyderabad and NIT Warangal. So those are 10 colleges. And we are starting with these 10 colleges for this program. Now, a few things that are really important. This is a depth-oriented program. So, and there are several other programs Microsoft runs which are breadth-oriented programs that touch hundreds of colleges and thousands indeed. But this is a depth-oriented program, and it's primarily focused today at these 10 colleges. We went through a pilot year. I'll talk about that, where we first started with 5 of these, a subset of these, and we are kind of in that phase where we're still learning, and we're kind of engaged with these 10 colleges. An important aspect of this program is that some of our top engineers, some of who are here, are engineering mentors who have hands-on coding skills, who have the ability to conduct a nice workshop or a class, who are deep in the technology. They are the ones who drive this program by actually physically going to these college campuses, right? So the programs, largely all the activities are delivered on the campus, and so we are meeting the faculty and students there and driving these programs. So it does require time commitment on the side of our engineers, and also the other part of it is that it does mean that we need to look at the overlap between the topics that are relevant in the academia and the topics that we are expert at, and make sure the right skilled people go to these events to make it valuable. So because they're delivered in person on campus, we are constrained with the total amount of time that we can commit, and that's why it's at this stage restricted to these 10 colleges. We do foresee that we may expand to a few colleges in the future in succeeding years, but it's always by nature going to be a depth-focused program, not a breadth-focused program. Just wanted to touch on that aspect. Top goals for the program, very easy to remember, just 2 goals for this program at the end of the day. First part of it is to enrich the computer science curriculum, right? So if you look at any of these 10 colleges, they'll have a set of core courses of computer science. They will have a set of electives that are being offered. There will be faculty who are passionate about some of these areas I talked about, be it like machine learning, be it online advertising. There are faculty who are taking classes on it even today, cloud computing and so forth. And so we look at that set of courses, we talk to the faculty and see which areas are interesting for us to bring some industry content, relevant industry content. Some may be around existing classes that are already being offered. Some may be new classes that they want to offer in the future, but they want to do a standalone workshop or something like that over a weekend and stimulate some conversation around it. And so it's very customized. That's the other aspect of it. It's not like one size fits all. Each college may ask for something different and unique in terms of what are those industry areas where they want that skill set or that lecture or that talk, right? That's part one of it. The other part of it is what I talked about with students and students being drivers of change and having all these great ideas. We really want to empower the students to come up with brilliant ideas for the future, right? And some may just be little applications that they upload. Some may be the basis of companies that they may start in the future. But our goal is that and you know how like some of the best companies in the world in technology, they've been started by people in college, right? Our own company, like Bill Gates was in Harvard, like he was in college, and in this era as well, there are several examples in the last 5-10 years of people having their best ideas when they're still in college. So young people are full of ideas. They have ideas that in fact become the basis of multi-billion-dollar products, right? We know that. And fundamentally, there's nothing different about Indian students. It's exactly the same thing, right? Indian students have those exact same bright ideas, and the only thing they need is that little bit of an accelerator or a push. That's why the program's called an accelerator, right? Where we really help them go to that last mile and get those bright ideas published into the real world. It gives them skills. More importantly, it gives them confidence to say, hey, look, in my second year of college, my first year of college, if I can publish an app that millions of users can then use, give me feedback, then where'll I be in third year, where'll I be in fourth year, right? Where'll I be when I graduate? They'll have that self-confidence, and they'll have that ability, regardless of which industry they end up joining, or even if they end up doing research, they end up in academia, it'll give them that self-confidence that they can in fact do really cutting-edge things even when they're very, very young in life.